What's up, YouTube? So, for today, uh, I randomly want to encourage you. Oh, thank you. To like, share, and subscribe. But if this is the first time you've been on this channel, it's called Random Thoughts for a reason, because this is going to be pretty freaking random. One thing that I really, I kind of, this has like been my soapbox for the last little bit, is uh, stop being so afraid. Can I say that? Can I be that direct? Um, you know, almost everything that you spend your life worrying about never comes to pass. It never happens. This has always been a pet peeve of mine. Mom used to do this all the time. You could have got killed doing that. I'm like, well, yeah, yeah, but I didn't. And I didn't get killed crossing the road, and I didn't get struck by lightning. All those things can happen. But when we spend our life worrying and just wrapped up in really, and I hate to use this word because it's almost so cliche, we get so wrapped up in negativity that we don't. I think sometimes we don't realize, because not everyone has been fortunate enough to be able to really spend some time studying. But if you've literally taken Psychology 101, because that's where I learned it from at a junior college 4 years ago, uh, that, if you spend your whole life like fixated on the negative, your body actually like rewards that. That will become basically your status quo. And if you're not complaining or worrying or something like that, you somehow feel like that you're not accomplishing something. Can I get a spoiler? You're not accomplishing anything. So worrying doesn't fix things. Planning fixes things. Action fixes things. It's easy for me in the situation I am to literally get overwhelmed because it is like super freaking negative. But it is the meaning of life, in my humble but accurate opinion, has nothing to do with what you accomplish, but far more to do with what you attempt. And the lesson of life is what you learn on the journey. And so, if we're, I do this like all the freaking time. If we're continually going back to the same well, the same methodology for how we deal with life, and we are freaking miserable with our life, then maybe we should maybe reconsider, how we're doing it. Maybe we're doing something wrong. You know, we get the adage, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, this is the story I heard. It's a good story, so I'm going to repeat it. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. So the phrase was actually coined by Albert Einstein, supposedly, because there was a scientist at the time who had developed this piece of machinery that was supposed to measure the ether, which was a concept that they had at that time in science. And he kept running the test over and over again. And he's like, I don't understand why we're not able to measure the ether. And of course, Einstein's argument was, well, you can't measure something that doesn't exist, because he was trying to prove that this was a thing in the physical world, and it obviously wasn't, because as elaborate as his test was, it basically didn't prove anything, because it was an idea that had its origins outside of this physical world, and so obviously it wasn't measurable or real. So, oops. Uh, so because we are humans and we are creatures of habit, I think, unfortunately, myself included, is we kind of find ourselves stuck in the rut of going back to that tried and true, woe is me, why is this happening to me? Well, again, very cliche, but it could be worse. And if you want to know how it could be worse, just go tell someone else about your woes, and they'll let you know how it can be worse, because there's an extremely high likelihood that what they're going through, in your estimation, most times, is worse than what you're going through. One thing I have found in life is that even though the experiences that we have are unique, the impact that they have on us is what is universal. And so, I may not have walked down the same road that you did, but I have experienced the effect of that journey in one form or another, in all likelihood. Now, you get in some dark, evil crap that should never be experienced by anyone. That's not what I'm relating to. But when we're talking about something that is common to the whole of humanity, sometimes I think it's a little, well, sorry, I'm not editing anymore because it's way funnier when I don't. But Dave Chappelle was talking about growing up in poor white America, basically, and he said the one thing that he found surprising is that all the poor white people around him were so surprised that they were poor. And of course, I think he's hysterical, and that is really funny because I found myself often like scratching my head, and and I don't think this is a racial thing, but sometimes we look at who we are, and we are shocked as to the situation that we're in. And for me personally, and I'm not saying this is for me personally, what I have found is that if I am honest with myself and don't give myself more credit than I deserve, and basically take my licks, uh, I'm where I'm at because of the choices and decisions that I've made. And for a lot of us, that's a pretty essy situation. And so, what do we do? Well, that's up to each one of us. Isn't that the meaning of really the purpose of life is to figure out what to do about our situation, and each of us will might take a different path on that. But the one thing that I want to encourage you is, yes, absolutely, life it can be super freaking crappy. It can be super hard and devastating, and get us to the point of where we want it to end. I mean, it's it happens all the time. It just for some people it's too much. I want to encourage you as you go about your day to remember that no matter how poor you are, and no matter how desperate your situation is, uh, you might be able, even in all of the crap that you've got going on, you literally have the power to impact everyone that you come in contact with simply by your attitude and by your mood. They say it never costs you anything to give somebody a smile. And I think that something that has happened in the last few years because of the stark division that we now have, it's not just here. Everybody thinks it's just here. I follow most of my news sources are, I mean, not a lot of my news sources. I don't have a particular order and don't like quantify. Oh, I've watched that for 43% of my. Uh, if you watch multiple news sources from around the world, you will find out that division is a worldwide issue. So, and they all blame it on something that it has nothing to do with. I personally think it's because we really can't be bothered anymore to show some common human decency to those that are around us. So, my challenge for today is to give somebody a smile. Give somebody a kind word. Be nice to someone. Open a door for someone. Do something polite. Show someone some respect. How about that? That would be that would be revolutionary in this day and age. Is show someone some respect. How about not run your mouth when someone says something that you don't agree with? You're not going to change their mind. I'm not sure why we believe that a person who is like entrenched in something they believe that you're going to spit out a one liner and they're going to go, oh my God, that's not how ideologies are changed. It's a process of understanding, and I mean, unless you're talking about the color of the sky, there's very few things that you can problems that you can solve by blurting out a sentence, or even a paragraph, especially when you're being a dick about it. So that's never going to go over well. All right. All right. I have no idea how long it's been, but it's long enough. I think I'm out. So, all right. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Meow, 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 meow. Welcome to Random Thoughts. I'm playing, sorry. Just had an Eddie Murphy moment there.